do you mean continue? I'm waiting for you.
Initiate.
Initiate what?
Initiate.
The podcast.
Engage.
Hello everybody and welcome to Dragon Ball Super Duper Fun Time Episode 1, the podcast that I am starting on my channel today. As you know, I am totally not Mark, and this, to my side, is Graeme. Say hi, Graeme.
Yo, what up?
The main purpose behind making this podcast series is to give you guys an insight into how someone who is new to Dragon Ball Super and its plot reacts to it initially. We will be asking Graeme Dragon Ball trivia, we'll get his predictions to movies and episodes he hasn't seen, and most importantly, Graeme will give us his first reaction to everything I show him in this series. He has seen Dragon Ball Z in the past, but it's been a while since you've seen Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, seen's a strong word. As his friend.
Fuck you! This is the first and last episode of Dragon Ball Super Duper Fun Time.
There weren't like 20 movies as well. None of which I've seen.
Yeah, oh no, you have seen one.
I've seen Battle of the Gods once.
How long ago?
Like, 2.5 years ago.
First segment of the day. DBZ trivia.
I want
to
absolutely nail this.
I want to test your knowledge of Dragon Ball Z, if there is any.
Impeccable.
With
flawless.
3 questions.
Okay.
You got 3 questions. It's a lightning round.
I only need one.
Question number 1. How many times did the Spirit Bomb defeat its target in Dragon Ball Z?
Oh, come on!
That's an easy one.
Is it?
I think so.
Well, of course you do.
It's
you
the
know
first,
the answer.
It's the first question. I thought I'd give you a softball.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure. Oh no, it doesn't nail Frieza because because Frieza technically survived, didn't he? And came back as a robot person.
You're asking me the question now.
Shh, be quiet. I'm thinking. So it didn't kill it. Wait, how the fuck?
Could have. I don't know.
Wait, shut up. No, it didn't. Because then Mystery Final Fantasy Trunks comes back from the future and terminates Frieza with his magic sword.
Fair observation.
And then there's how did Goku beat Vegeta? He didn't. He didn't. That's how he beat him. He didn't. No, because like they all teamed up on Vegeta and he still didn't die. And he ends up hopping in the big space pod yoke. The first arc didn't defeat Vegeta. Second arc didn't defeat Frieza. Next one is what? Cell? And he was defeated by Gohan. I've only seen the Buu arc once. Because I've seen Dragon Ball Z twice. The second time I stopped halfway through the Buu saga.
Why?
I had to move country.
Okay.
And
where are we now, Graeme?
Oh, do they not know that you moved to Japan?
No, they don't.
That's a bit. we live in Japan.
Specifically Osaka. There you go.
Okay, so yeah, I had to move here, and the whole gang, we were watching Dragon Ball Z together, and of course I wasn't with the gang anymore. And then I came here, and I suddenly had jobs.
So you didn't get your second viewing of the Buu saga?
No, so I don't know. It's either 0 or 1 then, because Spirit Bomb. Well, you're laughing, so I'm clearly fucking wrong.
Hey, I'm not fucking. I'm just laughing at the situation.
See, Boo is still alive, but there was a second one. There's Bad Boo, who became Oob, which is a stupid name, by the way.
And Boo isn't?
Well, it made Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo make sense.
Yeah, exactly.
I got that bit.
If you put Boo and Oob next to each other as words, it becomes boob. I'm gonna have to push for an answer now, Graeme, okay?
0.
The correct answer was 1.
Oh!
The only time Goku ever defeated anyone with the Genki Dama or Spirit Bomb was against Kid Buu.
Oh, for fuck! The one I
excluding movies.
The one I hadn't rewatched.
To be fair,
I did well.
He would have failed had he not used the Dragon Balls to recharge his energy, which I thought was a
point I was definitely going to make because I totally remembered all that.
It's totally. It's probably one of the better uses of the balls, in my opinion. Question number 2.
I like good use of balls.
As the second question, I will be asking you a Dragon Ball original question that I hopefully, you might be able to...
So basically, whatever I may have inferred from watching Z, or shit that you've mentioned about Dragon Ball that I can remember.
Yeah, from our friendship. Okay.
Friendship.
So, the Dragon Ball question. How old was Piccolo when he fought Goku at the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament? Bearing in mind, Goku at the time was 18.
Right. That does not help me at all, because I have no idea what the age disparity between Piccolo and Goku is. Original Piccolo, or is this second Piccolo 2.0?
This is second Piccolo.
Because second Piccolo's age is comparable to Goku's. Original Piccolo would have been the same age as Kami, right?
That's not comparable to Goku at all. Kami's like hundreds of years old.
Wait, when did that happen? Don't say hundreds of years ago, I'll slap you. When did he come down in that stupid spaceship thing and go, who am I?
A long time ago, man.
I thought he was just knocking around.
Like, this is like way before Dragon Ball even started. This is like prehistory to the actual show.
Like when people rode horses and shit.
Or the president of the world is a dog.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I'm playing with history for no reason.
Pressing the question, how old was Piccolo when he fought 18-year-old Goku at the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament? You're good with maths, Graeme. You can do this.
I don't have a number to go from. Jesus. 23rd, 18. They're the only two numbers I have in there. How long do these green things live?
I can tell you that 3 years prior to that, Goku was in fact 15 years old.
That does help.
At the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament.
Ah, so it's every 3 years?
Yes.
Is that a clue? Should I know when these things started compared to Piccolo's age? Did Piccolo start the first one when he was...
You're asking me so many questions here, and
Yeah.
I think I've already given you way too much information.
Well, was he 2?
He was 3.
Oh, jeez, I was joking so much. You're 2.
No, he was absolutely 3 years old. Mechians actually grow and develop far, far faster than humans do. So, when Piccolo kidnapped Gohan after Raditz was defeated, Piccolo was only about 8 years old.
Ha! Shit.
Final question. So far, you're 0 for 2. Question 3. Provide for me the 4 Saiyan names that survived the extinction of their race. In 10 seconds.
For God's sake. So, Vegeta, Kakarot, Raditz, Nappa.
Correct!
Yeah! Provide for me! You're fierce demanding. Jesus.
Fucking be proud of yourself. You got the question right.
I did. Alright, hang on. So 1 out of 3.
I was full sure you were going to say Goku too.
Who the fuck are you talking to? Dragon Ball Z wizard over here. There's like 2 questions I don't know and you happen to ask both of them. Everything else.
Well, we will see you later in the next episode.
Ah, shit, yeah, I'm actually going to be tested on this.
For getting 1 question right, your reward is...
Yes?
Pride.
Fuck yeah.
Your reward is pride. You're not a complete failure yet.
That's exactly what I was going for.
Alright, so the purpose of this show that I'm making today is to expose you, Graeme, to the new Dragon Ball continuity that's been established since 2015, or technically 2013, because next segment is Dragon Ball Super Duper Predictions, where you will have X amount of time to describe in as much detail as you can the plot of the movie Battle of Gods, which you will watch directly after you make these predictions. The closer you get to the actual movie's plot, the more points you will get towards the end of this show. Do you understand?
No.
Good. Let's do Dragon Ball Super Duper Predictions.
See, here's the thing. Every episode after this is gonna be completely blind. But I reckon I can actually nail this one, because I remember a lot. As far as, like, Resurrection of F, or Resurrection of F, I mean...
It's Resurrection F, actually.
Whatever. Blue hair and gold Frieza, that's all I know. So I'm gonna have a whale of a time predicting that. Battle of the Gods, here's what I remember.
How many years after the events of Dragon Ball Z do you think it is?
Okay, so first hurdle. I do know what's her face, Gohan's young one. What the fuck? What? Oh, what's her name? Something Ilda.
No, that is
Mr.
not
Satan's daughter.
correct.
The girl he's riding.
Mr. Satan.
No. Well, if she was my daughter.
Hulk Hogan.
Oh God, actually, yeah. Riding his own daughter.
Begins with V.
V. I know it begins with V. Vilda.
Oh my god. Okay, so Vilda applies to the story how?
Okay, so Vilda, which is definitely her name. It'll come to me.
Is that even a name?
Sure.
You sound so confident.
Yep. She's preggers with... Because I saw the beginning of GT, so I know the baby's Pan.
GT is not canon.
Yeah, I know, but I saw like the first few episodes before thinking, oh, this is shit, and then stopped watching it.
Okay.
So Pan is in the oven, which is funny because Pan means bread. So yeah, Pan's in the oven.
Well, if you want to go off of GT, Pan was about 8 years old. Or
no, I don't want to go off
7 or
GT.
8.
Fuck, that's a complete mess.
Okay, you're going off the end of Z, is it?
Yeah, I'm going to say, like, somewhat immediately. Although, no, because Oob, what happened to him? That was, like, unless this happened now in Super, and I don't know about it. But...
What the fuck was that?
But, like, Oob, what happened there? I remember him not being in Battle of the Gods.
I remember resenting Oob when I was growing up because he just symbolized the end of my favorite show.
Ah, that makes sense.
And it was a really copped out, like, you know, thrown on ending because Toriyama just was tired of making it and just wanted to end it.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid. But didn't Goku meet Hercules?
Like, I have nothing against Oob. I think he's got a really cool design. He looks
I don't
very.
like him. He's a prick.
This is because he's black.
No, it's just his name is stupid. Boo is stupid, but at least it was part of a pun. Oob is boo backwards.
It is.
That's so lazy. Here's how fucking you're an animator, right? This is how lazy Dragon Ball Z is. To depict movement, they just remove people from the screen.
To depict movement?
Yeah. One person is stationary, then you hear a noise, and they're gone. And that's movement.
Hey.
That's animation.
It's fucking great. It's
Suck
really good.
my dick,
It
that's
works.
great.
Contextually, it works. Especially with the technology
contextually.
they had at the time.
The context being they had fuck all budget.
What the fuck is the topic of this situation right now, Graeme?
Oop.
Predict the fucking plot of Battle of Gods. I'm gonna give you a
Okay.
I'm gonna throw you a bone.
No. I predict people will stand around and then disappear. And we, the audience, will be expected to assume that they're moving. That's what will happen.
The plot of the movie, Graeme.
Okay, the plot of the movie. King Koi-fish.
King who?
What's his
Koi
name?
fish.
What the fuck's his name? King Kai.
Oh my fucking god.
The fucking he looks like a koi fish.
Okay.
Catfish.
Okay.
Whatever. Him. They're like the Sean Simmel guy. It's him as well, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Goku.
So he's gonna go, oh, remember the time I told you the most powerful being in the universe was threatening everything? And then I was like, oh wait, there's a new, even more powerful being next arc that I totally knew about, but didn't mention last time. I remember how that happened 4 times. My prediction is that happens again. And he goes, ah! And the whole way, the whole way. Shut up! So, the way that we, the audience, are sold on the strength of this new... Because we haven't seen this new character.
What's his name? Do you know his name?
Beerus. He's a fucking dog. He's a purple...
He's a cat.
Whatever. He
The
looks like
antithesis of a dog.
he looks like one of those Egyptian... Are they meant to be...
They're cats.
Whatever. He looks stupid, is my point.
His design is objectively awesome.
Really?
I think so.
I happen to know it's silly. It's pure silly. So anyway, Beerus... The fuck is with the names, by the way? So Beerus is
Do you
like...
not know it's a pun?
Oh god, what?
Do you know what his... Okay, is there any... Okay, how many new characters are in this movie?
Well, there's Beerus. There's the guy who babysits him, who's a total metro, and then turns out at the end, the guy we've been told is the most powerful thing in the universe is nothing compared to this new guy, which is the worst trope this show pulls out. All it does is it builds up this one character to be an absolute beast, and then to build up another one as lazily as possible, they just show this beast getting beaten. Rover shows up and
Rover?
Yeah, Beerus.
He's a cat!
So Mr. Bigglesworth shows up and King Koi-fish is all like, oh, he's the most unbelievable thing ever, and sounds a bit like Cartman for some reason. Movie opens. Everyone's having a great time. Ding-a-ling, the brain phone goes off in Goku's head. And King Koi-fish is like, hey, Goku! Like, I'm terrified because there's a new thing that even God, like, actually God is in this show. He's got a fucking name. He's Kai or whatever. And he's like the fusion. He's the last.
He's called the Supreme Kai.
Yeah, him, Supreme Kai, and he's shitting himself because apparently he's a bitch compared to this Beerus guy. And then Beerus is one of just many other world destroyers or something, that was the term. Mm-hmm. And every few thousand years they wake up and blow up a few planets and then go back to sleep. Why don't we know about this already? Mm-hmm. Sure, it was scheduled.
Right.
It was scheduled. So why are you so surprised? How the fuck do they not mention at any point, oh, by the way, there's a whole army of these fucking destroyers that go around massacring billions of people on planets every few thousand years. You know, whatever.
The plot of the movie, Graeme.
So, Beerus the cat shows up and he's all like, I've heard about...
What's his attendant's name?
Something. It's got ooh in it.
It doesn't.
I knew that. So, blue guy with lipstick and mysterious halo around his body that isn't touching him at any point, I don't think. And a weird quiff of his hair.
Okay.
Who loves eating food while Beerus threatens to destroy entire planets and goes, oh, this is jarling, while Beerus is off, murdering millions. Uh-huh. Beerus wakes up and goes, oh, I wanted to murder millions. Did he wake up?
How does he meet Goku?
I think he scheduled it. He decided to wake up at this time or whatever. Did he hear rumblings of a Super Saiyan god or something? And he's all like, I'm going to find the strongest Saiyan.
How did he hear the rumblings?
I can't remember. Was there one before?
The idea is for you to predict this, Graeme.
So, here, well, yeah, but this is the one like, from next week or next time we do this onwards, it'll be pure predictions. But I do remember some of this shit. Pan is required because Beerus shows up and they're all like, how do you become a god? I don't know, let's Google it. So they Google how to become a Super Saiyan god.
They don't.
And And you're told you need 5 guys, so they do the 5 guys thing, and they're like, oh, it's not enough. Oh, it's 5 guys plus a vessel to be the god. And they realize, oh, you can use my fetus. And so they use the fetus, and the fetus is all like, share your energy with me. And they make Goku go all red, but it's not Kaioken for some reason. It's just red pupils and red hair. And then he's just stronger. Like, for no reason, he's just stronger than he was at Super Saiyan 3. And then he and Beerus fuck around, and it's uneventful. And, oh, there's a moment where Vegeta buries his pride and, like, sucks Beerus' dick because he doesn't want... Oh, no, doesn't Beerus say something to Bulma or hit her or something or whatever? And Beerus is like, oh, I'll fucking kill you. Oh, at the end, the big twist is, even when Vegeta was not even Super Saiyan, he was more powerful than Goku when he was Super Saiyan God. I'm pretty sure they mentioned that. In that moment, he was more powerful or whatever.
Okay.
I remember Vegeta stuff.
How does it end?
It ends with Beerus respectfully going, that was fun, even though I was only going 70 whatever percent. 70 or 80, some stupid number like that. And then at the end, he's flying around his home planet. And King Koi Fish is all like, oh wow, it's amazing, he didn't destroy any planet. This is the first time he's ever woken up without killing anybody. And Goku's like, hey, I like eat fast, and Japanese audiences think it's funny, so hey.
Okay, are you content with that
No.
broad
then,
explanation
so
for
then,
the plot?
Metro Quiff Halo guy stops Beerus for like a second, like effortlessly stops him. Mm-hmm. And that's just the whole Trunks bullshit Frieza androids trick all over again. Oh, he's so much stronger than Beerus, and we all know how strong Beerus is now. Mm-hmm. We have no reason.
So just to anticipate your thought process, you anticipate the Z Warriors to eventually come to blows with Whis.
Whis is his name.
Yes.
Not in the Battle of the Gods.
Okay.
I knew it had U in it.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, we're going to go watch the movie, and Graham's going to see how right or wrong he was about any of the plot.
Wrong.
See you in a sec, guys. Right, so we just got back from watching Battle of the Gods. I want to clear up a few things before I start. Just a few little tidbits. This was the first Dragon Ball movie that had a theatrical release in about 17 years, so this was like a huge deal.
17 years?
17 years. Huge deal for like Dragon Ball and just, the fucking Dragon Ball culture in general. Dragon Ball GT finished around November 1997, so this was like the first new bit of Dragon Ball animation that was released in a long time. There was like small specials here and there, like Yo-Son Goku and his friends return, but this was the first actual story that Akira Toriyama actually penned himself, so he wrote the story for this. And he provided the character designs for both Beerus and Whis and any new character you might have seen in the actual movie.
Do you remember how, it's been, 2 hours for us, but for the listeners, it's been 2 minutes? Remember how my opinion of Beerus was always that his character design was totally cool? And that he definitely looks like a cat and not a dog. Yeah, I'm sticking to my guns there. He looks like a cat, and his character design's awesome. I think I've said that from day one. So yeah.
Beerus was honestly one of my favorite designs that Toriyama's ever actually produced. A lot of the kind of flack that Akira Toriyama actually got towards the end of Z, you thought that the stories got a bit more convoluted. There was a lot less direction. That was all just purely because Akira Toriyama was just sick of making Dragon Ball.
No, Dragon Ball Z convoluted. Fuck off.
The actual character design for Beerus was actually modeled off of Akira Toriyama's house cat.
He's got a hairless, massive-eared Egyptian purple house cat.
Apparently. I think it died.
Oh, that's really sad.
I want to get your initial emotional feeling after seeing Battle of Gods, if it has changed, compared to how you used to remember it in the past.
I forgot that the comic relief was actually good for once, because in Dragon Ball Z it's usually shite. Really broad strokes?
Really broad strokes, initially.
I'm glad I watched it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it's more Dragon Ball Z, and it's not the fucking show, so it's not like you wait several weeks for nothing to happen.
I want to jump on that thing that you actually said in the predictions portion of this video. You were saying things about how they were cramming so much exposition, shoehorning it in, all that kind of stuff, and they absolutely were.
Yeah.
And Dragon Ball Z absolutely did. But one thing that you can take away from Battle of Gods is that towards the end of the movie, they tried to do foreshadowing for bigger and better things in advance rather than shoehorning them into a later movie.
That's actually a point I didn't think of. It set something up, whereas the rest of the things never set anything up. Instead, they just go, there's this new thing. But the movie begins with, here's this new thing, obviously, because the show didn't set anything up for it. And the one thing that was set up was Frieza. Frieza didn't die the first time. So the one thing the show actually did set up was the worst payoff ever, because he just shows up when Trunks terminates him.
Yeah, you were saying that you were fed up with how they established characters and all that kind of stuff. How, in general, given what they had, how do you think they fared establishing Beerus and Whis?
Are you asking me to allow the concession they had to shoehorn him in?
Well,
And,
like,
and
if,
given that condition, how good of a job did they do?
sort of. So, like, hypothetically, if you were presented with a 2-hour movie that you needed
Mm.
to make based on the information that they had left you with,
So I had to make this new character.
you had to make this new character and you had to introduce him fast because you
Well-
had to get to the fight.
Given that caveat, okay, yes, they did a good job. I mean, it does scale nicely, but that's because it's a movie. Mr. Popo wasn't in the movie.
Nope, because the entire movie took place at Bulma's party, on King Kai's planet, and in space.
And she doesn't like Popo?
No, but Popo's taking care of the lookout. He always does. He's like the caretaker of the lookout.
Does he never leave the lookout? He's left the
He
lookout
has
before.
left the lookout, but I suppose he's just taking care
Is
of
it
it.
shut in?
I don't know. They're racist.
Is he-
Moving on.
Oh yeah, he's black.
One thing I want to ask you about. I'm going to go like scene by scene with this. I'm going to try to see if I can break this down so you're
There were at least like 4 or 5 scenes in this movie.
at least. To make this movie, they needed to create 2 new characters in Whis and Beerus. They added the prophet fish, which I think you said that you liked.
Christ, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. In the West, if you want a trippy design, you gotta have like 4 guys from Liverpool get high on acid for a few hours in a recording studio, maybe take a trip or two to India, and you get something decent. In Japan, they're just mental, and they come up with cool designs like this all the time. He's a fucking tadpole-y, fishy, slimy little blue thing in a floaty, fishy, bowly thing, and he's got a normal personality where he's forgetful and whatever.
The overall like layout of the actual planet that Beerus was from, the kind of like his kind of home, so to speak, like with the alarm clock bombs, with the huge towers that was erected out of this massive tree, the square kind of shape to the planet. What did you think of it?
I liked it, but I mean, it's got like wildlife, it's got birds, and it's got the big pink thing in the water. But it's a lot for one dude. I mean, I know Whis lives there, but there's like cities on this thing, empty cities, and there are these little planets that look like they're tiny, right?
Yeah.
But when he destroys them, because Wasabi was, 2-5, or was it 5 spicy 3 him? I can't do internet memes. But when he ate the wasabi, he destroys what Whis calls worlds. And I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, were
Were the things living on it? Like,
were the people there?
yeah, maybe.
Did Wasabi kill millions?
Yeah.
That's and because the Kais were celebrating, this is the first time he's ever woken up without killing a bunch of people, and then I'm like, he just had some wasabi and killed like so many innocent people,
Yeah.
and they just glossed.
That's
totally
one
over it.
thing about Beerus that
He's a mass murderer.
Yes, but that I think that
Although Kai's like he's not
is
evil.
kind of overlooked, especially you overlooked it looking at it initially. He isn't a villain. He's an anti-hero.
Look at you.
No, but he's not a villain. He's absolutely not a villain. He has good qualities and bad qualities. He is neither good nor evil.
I'm pretty sure there are some mass murderers that had some lovely qualities. Hitler was a vegetarian, and it was apparently very good to his dog.
Is that true?
Yeah, both those things are true.
Really?
He took great care of his dog, and he was a vegetarian.
Oh man.
He
Fair play.
also was a bastard.
He saved far more pigs than me. Am I the villain, Graeme? Am I the villain?
Oh Christ! The fucking that trio, Emperor Pilaf, or whatever.
Yeah, I was actually going to move on to that.
So hang on.
Mai, and
There's
Shu.
pedophilia in this movie because because Trunks is what 8,
Around that, yeah.
He's
or no,
8.
is he 12 or 10? I can't remember.
and he starts hitting on this woman who's like 30, 40 something.
41. Well, she's going to be 41.
I thought I said 31, but either way, 30, 41. Who cares? It's one of those.
It's worse, 41.
Is it though? After a point, it's a woman and a child.
I don't know. 31 to 41, you got 10 years to think about it.
I don't think she's been thinking about shagging 8-year-old boys for 10 years.
Probably not. She was really scared to hold his hand. So, really, I don't think her
By the
headspace was there.
by the end, they were off up in a tree together.
Yeah, they were.
There's a fucking so again, Japanese anime they don't give a shit. They just pull out a gun. She just pulls out like I'm not sure, was it a pistol or something?
like a
She
magnum,
puts it to his head.
Yeah.
An 8-year-old's head. Like she's holding an 8-year-old hostage, and they threaten to kill the kid. And everyone's like, this is hilarious, this is adorable. They don't know that she knows that he's bulletproof.
You were fairly fond of Trunks' quip. He says, I want to break up.
That was fucking hilarious. I want to kill this kid right now. I want to break up.
Yeah, it was fucking great. When Goku was training on King Kai's world and was confronted by Beerus and Whis. This is Beerus and Whis' first interaction with actual canon characters in the continuity of the show. How do you think that went?
I know, I liked how, Beerus plays whenever. But it's just, I've seen that happen so often. Although it was the first time, I think you pointed this out in the thing, it was the first time since Raditz that someone just...
A long time.
Someone just gave him a flick.
A long time
when
anyway,
he was trying his hardest.
Yeah, it was the first time like Goku had like been properly bodied by a character in a very long time.
So
without any kind of like,
excuse,
exactly.
Yeah.
He was absolutely no match for him at all. One thing I do love about Beerus' character is that he's quite flamboyant. He's not like, I'm gonna kill you, I'm bad, blah blah blah. That's a very easy thing to do, but they decided to actually give him some kind of character because he's got to be a continuing character.
Well, I think one of the reasons he's a cat, or cause and effect going the other way, because he's a cat, he's just lazy. I want to jump on one thing. Beerus being the person that ordered Frieza to deal with Planet Vegeta just seems... There's no reason for it. Beerus has been to Vegeta before, because we see King Vegeta kissing his feet and stuff.
Yes.
So it's clearly not that out of the way. I mean, he goes there and doesn't even destroy it at least once. So what? The fact that he just couldn't be arsed going there to destroy it makes no sense.
One thing I think Super has over the movie is that it has more time for exposition.
More time for covering up the bullshit they shoehorn in there, you mean?
Yeah, but like this particular issue that you have, like Beerus does make an effort to go from planet to planet, inspecting it, trying its food. That's his thing, where he goes from planet to planet trying their delicacies. Based on their delicacies, he'll blow up their Earth.
Is that exclusively it? He just tries their food.
I think so. Like,
he's such a cat.
But it's completely acknowledged that he's doing his job poorly. He shouldn't be doing that.
Who says that?
That's later.
Well, I mean the show.
Yes.
Mark, we're not reviewing Super. We're talking about.
Will we do that? Do you want to review Super?
Absolutely not.
I'll show you all the best bits.
No, we're going to do this movie, F, and then because the third movie was given the thrown in the can, we'll pick up Super where F finishes.
Ooh, you're gonna have to listen to the Japanese dub.
Oh shit!
This could be great.
I'll have to listen to fucking what's her face Goku with the
I'm sorry. Okay, I was totally on board with you. I would have been totally in agreement with you if you had talked to me like about that 2 years ago. But I've watched like every episode of Super like 20 times now, and fucking love Nasuka Misawa. She's fucking amazing. She's so
you know
good.
her name. Well, look at you.
Yeah, she's really good.
Why don't you marry her?
She's a fucking. She's the highest paid actress in the country we are currently inhabiting.
Oh, why don't you marry her?
Huh? She's like 80.
Still, that's all the more reason. Marry her now. She's gonna die soon. You get everything.
Does that mean that she's like a pedophile? Like my...
Well, no, because you're not a child.
Moving on. The scene where the party is, and when Beerus comes to engage with the party and his history with Vegeta, how do you think that was like? You know, him tying himself into the series that way, and Vegeta's engagement with him, with Bulma coming up and being drunk and everything.
I think much like the Frieza connection, I think it's just so obviously forced. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it personally didn't bother me that much, but again, you pointed out that yes, I am much more forgiving than the average viewer because I do love the show. There's so like a point of contention, like a point of like debate and like, you know, I suppose controversy would be a better word, was when Vegeta kind of sacrificed his pride and did the bingo dance.
No, I like that.
Yeah, so
so Vegeta is my favorite character, and like when he breaks the Boo curse, the Majin curse.
Yeah,
I love that because what saves him is the thing that made him so evil. Pride.
Right.
And I personally hate pride. I take pride all the time in things that I've done. And,
everyone does.
And things that people I really care about do. I'm really proud of the people I care about and their achievements. And I'm really proud of my own achievements. And I hate that, kind of, because there are so many bad consequences to pride.
Right.
But what I love about that moment is that his pride, but what I love about that moment is that his pride, the thing that made him so fucking evil and that makes us all evil at times, is it saves his life.
He values certain things above all else, and it kind of gives him a reason to fight on, kind of thing. Or?
Yeah, he'll be no one's slave.
Yeah,
he'll answer to no one. His life is his own. He's in total control.
Oh yeah.
And that's purely drawn from his pride. I love that. It challenged my hatred of my own pride. That moment. And what I like about the burying of his pride is that it shows, you know, it doesn't pretend that. Oh, remember that time Pride saved everyone? Yeah, Pride's actually not that great. It is actually most of the time the best thing to bury it.
Yeah.
So I like that because it shows.
In this particular
and also,
episode.
Vegeta never buries his pride.
So in this particular one, it did the absolute opposite, where
Yeah,
he kind
yeah.
of, you know, buried his pride to kind of like protect all the others. Rather
Also,
than
it's
just one
nice
person
growth.
or something.
Like
yeah,
the moment when he told when in the right after he becomes himself again from the Majin curse. I'm jumping back and forth, sorry, from Z and the movie. But when he becomes himself again and he looks down at Trunks and says, "Take care of your mother and I love you and I'm proud of you" and all that stuff. That was beautiful. And we see that again with the Bulma thing when Beerus slaps her.
yeah,
Oh, I love that moment so much. Like, not that, the reaction to it that Vegeta has.
yeah,
His reaction is the best moment. It's better than the other moment I love.
yeah. Do you think so?
Oh yeah, that's the best. Because okay, I'm a massive Vegeta mark.
I think this is a scene though that can be related to a lot from like an older audience, like, you know, we're just like coming in defense of like loved ones. I don't think that's a thing
Yeah.
that necessarily children can relate to, but it's something that's for
Well, I
adults.
do remember beating the shit out of kids who hit my little sister.
Cool. Moving on. So like the music that was used throughout the movie, how did you like that?
Okay, so
They're all new scores, by the way.
what I assume is Beerus's tune because it plays at two noticeable moments when Vegeta goes berserk on him because he touches Bulma.
Yeah.
That was class. And there's a moment later when he's about to go mad and the tune plays again. It's very similar. I love what I think is his theme. And then of course you had that song with actual lyrics, which is very weird for Dragon Ball.
That was much later. That was in
That was his fight with
that was his
Goku.
fight with Goku. That was actually one of my favorite moments of the movie as well.
In their fight was my second favorite moment. My
Yeah.
top moment is Vegeta's reaction to
understand.
his wife being touched.
Yeah. So the Super Saiyan God, that was the new addition to this movie. That was the new addition to the series. That was Goku's new transformation. The red hair, the loss of muscle mass, divine.
Yeah,
Ki.
he got scrawny,
Yeah.
Like-
he looked
like-
young. He looked younger.
like Beerus, who's also scrawny,
Yeah, there could be commonalities there.
and Whis, who's scrawny.
Yeah. What do you think of the overall aesthetic change to the Super Saiyan, or the introduction to Super Saiyan God, and how they got there?
Yeah, I didn't like actually when he met Beerus and he gave us the whole spiel about this is Super Saiyan 1. Now I'm gonna go 2. And this is 3. We can count
Yeah, but that's
to
also
3.
it's also a callback to a really, really, really popular scene from the Buu saga where Goku,
He explains to Boo.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, but that actually has context. It's believable because he's talking to a simpleton.
Yeah, but this is.
But Beerus is an intellectual.
Did you notice that, like, when Goku was in Super Saiyan 3, he said, "I can dial it back to 2 for you," and Beerus said, "No, this will do fine." And Goku was like offended. Goku has like tremendous pride in his own strength.
Yes.
He's very, very overconfident, and he showboats, and that's why he doesn't go all out. He dicks around and fights. That's his character.
Are you excuse? But how does that excuse the counting as a bad story?
No, I'm just
delivering-
saying, as a character, in my mind, it's him doing this to show off to Beerus,
counting.
showing his different states of transformation. They just happen to be numbered.
I don't know. I feel like he's.
It's not a huge deal anyway. It was something that looked cool. That's all. Okay, so we're going to move on to the actual main course of this movie. Goku versus Beerus, the Battle of Gods. What did you think of it?
I thought it was fucking cool. The animation was at times shitty, but for the majority, awesome.
What do you mean by shitty?
It just looked lazy and like.
You mean the CGI?
Yeah.
I
No,
get
sometimes,
you.
I don't mean like, oh, it's got CGI, therefore it's shit. No, like sometimes CGI was done great. Like Beauty and the Beast ballroom scene.
Or when that
Maybe.
rock, remember when you could...
Yeah, when the cliff
fell
when
into
the
water.
entire cliff.
Yeah,
Like,
fair.
I thought the tip was gonna break off. No, the whole fucking thing just comes off the land
Yeah.
and flies in the air. And I'm like, pretty good. And like when they part the Red Sea,
Yeah.
that's pretty decent. And when Goku doesn't notice, but his god powers fail him, and he's just regular old Goku again. Delivers a classic Sean Schimmel line where he enunciates really quickly in a way nobody would in such an intense moment. But it's cool because it's Goku. And he does that, and then suddenly he Super Saiyans all over the screen through rock and shit.
I will cut in. He doesn't say really. He says, seriously?
Whatever.
Yeah, okay. The my favorite part from that particular fight was, and I think it's a lot of people's, and I think it's yours, where Goku, when he's after being smashed into the rock, after he initially loses his god form, he doesn't know that he has.
Yeah.
He says, "I will not let you destroy my
No,
world."
but that's the line that I was actually on about, where he delivers that line way too accurately and quickly, with perfect enunciation.
All right.
Nobody would say it that fast, that well, in that moment.
Oh, okay. You're having that problem with that, yeah.
Yeah, but the following animation,
Yeah.
where he flies through the rock, as like the way he usually flies through air,
Yeah.
is fucking cool.
That whole
He's
scene,
like a street shark.
Yeah, that whole scene was and like even do you know when the fight sequence they had in the clouds, that whole scene was actually animated by a guy called Naoto Shishida, and he's like one of the best animators toy animation has.
I do love it, by the way, when they punch. Well, he punches
I
Beerus.
love it when they punch.
I love it when they hit. I like it when they hit the man. What I meant was when he punches Beerus and Beerus grabs his hand and the clouds just fuck off.
Yeah, that's
really cool.
That's the beginning of the fight. Yeah,
That is so cool.
yeah. But the overall fight, you were happy with it. You think it delivered? Do you think it kind of like served well Dragon Ball Z's legacy of having big fights, bearing in mind that they only had about an hour to build up this fight?
Well, here, I just began by saying it's a bit shit. I feel like I should clarify. I like 80-90% of this fight, by the way, but I always focus on the negative. I do think it was a bit shit when Goku's like, oh, I wasn't even trying. I was going 80%. I'm like, your planet is on the line.
Yeah. But that's absolutely within Goku's character. He's always done that.
Yeah, he's an absolute
Yeah, I know, he's an idiot. Yeah, he is. But that's one thing I think that the English dub tricks fans into believing. Goku isn't the superhero character. He's not a good person. He's not a bad person. He's just a guy that's lighthearted, that does things for immoral reasons sometimes.
Yeah, he's a dope.
I just want to touch on your favorite moment of the movie was...
Oh, Vegeta avenging... When Beerus slaps his wife and Vegeta goes Vegeta on him.
Okay, so that's my Bulma scene. So your least favorite scene?
When Pilop and those pricks are inside spraying around, they spray painted literal pictures of shit.
A lot of people don't like that scene.
That's not funny. That's not anything.
Your opinion on the music quickly?
Decent tunage.
Decent tunage. The animation quality overall?
Overall cool. Sometimes they went a bit like, ooh, look at our computer graphics. But like obviously when done well, that shit's class.
Yeah, it's
when they use it well.
The characters Whis and Beerus and their addition and what they could mean for the series.
Whis grew on me over the course of the movie.
He's fantastic. He's one of my favorite characters.
I think the two of them, especially Whis actually. Whis is hilarious. And Beerus is funny too, which is hard to do, I suppose, when you consider
that's so pertinent to the story.
He's so like he could destroy the earth any second, and yet manages to be very funny.
Yeah,
and even lighthearted at times. Which is difficult to do, and they believably do it. Like again, not because he hates life, but because he's apathetic towards life and doesn't really care. It makes him able to be lighthearted. If he was a hateful character who hated life and wanted to then it wouldn't be possible.
Right.
Because anger would be his motivator or something like that. Now it's just pure boredom.
Yep.
So then, yeah, it lends itself better.
Okay. So, Graeme.
Yes.
I have with me right now in my hand a list of your predictions that you made before you saw this movie.
You mean you have the script of the movie in your hand?
So, one thing I did want to address, her name is Videl, not Vilda.
Hey, I was nearly there.
I gave you the V. You had Ilda.
Idel and Ilda are very similar, same letters.
They're not.
I spelled Ilda with an E.
Is Vilda even a name?
Is Videl? Any Videls out there? And Vildas. We're sorry. Well, you questioned the validity of that as a name.
That's true.
Validity is also a name.
Yeah.
Very similar to Vilda. Videl. I think it's beyond question.
You also were confused about Oob's positioning on the timeline. That's totally understandable. Oob comes after the events of Battle of Gods. Battle of Gods actually happens in between the ending of Z and Goku defeating Boo. So the 10-year time skip, this all happens during. You did predict that people will stand around and then disappear.
Yeah, because that's how Dragon Ball Z does animation.
And you thought the animation was bad?
Okay, no. By and large, it was good. But, no, there was a moment when people were looking at the sky. And it happened, it was a couple of moments like this, and it was just noise happening.
Ah, that's cool, though.
And a little bit of movement line in the sky.
That's cool, though.
And that was supposed to convey a huge impact.
That's cool, though.
It's fine, because the rest of it was brilliant. So I'll leave it
King Kai is called King Kai, and not King Koi Fish.
Look, I knew he was called King Kai. I believe
you didn't initially.
Did we ever read?
You did not initially.
Okay, maybe I didn't. I would have gotten there,
but you did.
Had you afforded me a few seconds thought.
But you did anticipate King Kai announcing Beerus' existence and him being bigger than stronger than everyone else.
Fucking nailed it. Of course, it's easy as pie to predict, though.
Yeah.
Who's the new guy? It's amazing. He's strong. Yeah.
You said that you thought Beerus' design was silly.
I thought he was a dog.
You did?
Yes, I remember him being far more silly. I have to completely turn around here. He looks fucking class.
He does look really cool.
Yeah,
Purple looks unreal with him.
Although his pants are weird from behind. There's a great ass shot of him. And instead of having a hole in his pants where his tail comes out, yeah, the area above the tail also is completely bare. I feel like there should be a crack there, and there's not, and it makes me uneasy.
That makes you uneasy?
Yeah.
It's a very strange, rather specific thing. One thing you actually didn't notice, you actually inquired earlier about what's his name, what's the deal with his name. Beerus and Weiss, beer, whiskey.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be a trend.
So all these destroyers and their
Attendants.
they're babysitting
Their attendants.
who are all stronger than them.
Their attendants.
But still like kiss their feet. Attendants?
Attendants.
So babysitters are all named after liquors. Or like forms of alcoholic beverages.
Correct.
Is
Again,
like the
this is
best one going to be called alcohol?
No.
Oh.
You mentioned a character called Quiff, metrosexual character. You were referring to Weiss.
Yes, I do.
He does not have an "oo" in his name.
I was saying I don't think his name has an "oo" in it.
That's literally the opposite of what you said.
We'll agree to disagree there.
Kinkai does not call Goku. Goku was already training on Kinkai's planet.
Trivial. Goku's everywhere at once. He can instant transmission. There's a bit in the movie.
There's a delay between every transmission that he can do because he can transport himself depending on his own concentration. So in the middle of a battle, if he's being chased or under too much pressure, he can't do it. The God of Destruction is what it's called, not World Destroyer.
Ah, well, Destroyer of Worlds, whatever.
It's fine. Beerus's wake-up time was not scheduled. He said that himself.
Well, it was scheduled by him. Well, I said that it was.
It wasn't
the gods.
a fixed
yeah,
routine.
like Supreme Kai should have known.
Yeah.
No, he should not have. Only Beerus knew.
Yeah.
And Whis.
Though it is a thing where he wakes up.
Yeah,
after decades of time.
I assumed in my prediction that it was like every few millennia. No, it just happens every few decades.
Yeah.
Why the fuck?
You were accurate in your description of Whis' physical appearance. He does have a quiff. He does have a halo that does not touch his body. And he was tall.
Got that sweet Ichiban lipstick.
You were correct about saying that Beerus set his alarm clock to meet Goku.
Forgot about the dream though.
You did.
Also, his alarm clocks are bombs. That's just kind of fun.
Yep.
That's nice.
They don't use Google.
They totally use Google. Shenron
to figure out
Google.
how the Super Saiyan God can be summoned.
When you want to know anything, what do? You Google it. In their world, you get the balls together.
So what you're saying is that Google is synonymous with Shenron.
Shenron is a metaphor for Google and was back in the 80s when he was written.
And Google can give life and immortality.
Yeah, sure. Google's producing AI.
You did mention that the Super Saiyan God transformation gives him red hair and red eyes.
Yeah.
But you did not mention that he loses muscle mass.
I forgot he got scrawny.
He did get scrawny.
Yeah.
And Beerus does hit Bulma. You were correct about that.
Yeah, what a prick.
Yeah. Vegeta at full power was stronger than Goku at Super Saiyan 3, not Super Saiyan God.
Yeah.
They can't sense the God energy. They can't comprehend how strong he is. Right, so out of the 18, you got about 5 right.
What, 5? I made 18 predictions?
18 predictions.
I got all 5 of them right?
Yeah. Funny thing about the number 18, this was actually the 18th Dragon Ball movie to be produced.
Why do you think I made 18 predictions? I obviously knew that.
So guys, as you know, this is the first episode of Dragon Ball Super Duper Fun Time. Episode 2, we would like to invite you to ask us some questions that we can actually answer on the show. During this particular segment, you will get the answer of the Dragon Ball connoisseur, the sensacier of Dragon Ball, Graeme.
Yo, what up?
To answer all your questions. So if you guys have any questions regarding Dragon Ball, Resurrection F, or any of the other shows that we're going to be watching later in this series, leave them in the comment section down below and we will answer them in this show. And we will give credit to you.
Fucking mine over here, just full of knowledge. I want to share. I know so much about this show.
You're such a giver.
I am such a giver.
The giving tree, Graeme.
You have no idea.
Okay, guys, so you can leave your comments down below or of any questions that you might have for us, myself specifically, or Graeme specifically, or the show that we're talking about specifically, and we might answer those on the show. Next time on Super Duper Fun Time.
Holy shit.
Both myself and Graeme will be tackling Resurrection F, a movie that he has not seen at all, and a movie that I know very well and I'm very fond of. We will get his predictions in that episode, he will tackle some trivia questions, and hopefully yours. But most importantly, he will see the movie for the first time and we will be getting his raw reaction. Are you excited, Graeme?
Well, yeah, I'm still kind of rocking a semi over here after that voice you just did.
Dragon Ball Super Duper Fun Time.
Oh, fuck, stop, you're killing me.
Alright guys, with that, we will see you next time on Dragon Ball Super Duper Fun Time. See ya!
See you guys later!